Thank you all for spending an hour with us today. We're super excited to walk through from search to sense making. We have a jam-packed agenda. My name is Seth Gilpin and I lead product marketing here at Reputation. We have Steven Walker, who's one of our senior product marketing managers. He's going to drive through the majority of the presentation. Also have Shika, our senior product manager, and Kirsten Young, one of our senior solution engineering managers that will be joining me today. We have a Q&A function, so we'd love to drive as much engagement, answer your questions. So as we're going through the presentation, there's the Q&A functionality. We'll answer as many questions as possible at the end. So if you have something that pops up, if you want to double click, if you want to ask a follow-up question, please use that Q&A button and we'll address as many questions as possible. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I know many of you attended our September event where we started to tell the AI story and kind of this idea of being built for AI, not bolted on for AI. And I know there's a lot of customers here on the call, and you've seen this slide, always know and always act. And that's our mission at Reputation, to help you understand what your customers are saying. There's so many different places customers can share feedback to us today. There's public and private data, there's solicited, unsolicited data. There are tons of signals that consumers are signaling out to us, and it's Reputation's vision. It's our mission to help you know what your customers are saying and giving you the insights so you can always act, so you can connect those dots, you can uncover insights, and you can take that foresight into insight and insight into action. And that's what we've been building over the last number of months, is rebuilding our platform from the ground up to prepare us for kind of this next wave of AI and kind of guiding everything that we're building from the product front. There's really three North Stars that we're trying to align towards. So there's AI innovation, and we want to be the best AI online reputation management platform, period. We're trying to make our platform more usable, to be easier to use, to simplify every single workflow that you're using across the reputation intelligence platform experience today. And we want our platform to be very sticky. It should be mission critical software for you. Reputation management software, experience management software, social media management software, those should not be nice to haves. Those should be mission critical software that become a critical part of how your business finds insights, how you manage your end-to-end customer journey from top of funnel to the point of sale and the entire customer lifecycle. There's so much data, there's so much insights that you can be tapping into. And we want to be part of that journey. We want to be your co-pilot as you do your day-to-day. So if we go to the next slide here, this is what it is that we're building, where we're unifying all of the different signals in one unified platform. So we rebuilt our platform from the ground up, where we have a centralized data lake that starts to connect the dots from all of your reviews and your listings to what AI engines are saying, what SEO engines are saying, what your customers are saying on social, what your customers are saying in your private surveys. So bringing all of that together so the data is connected, the data is talking, and we can start building AI models on top of that. And the next wave of growth at Reputation is going to be building into these four buckets that we see on the right. Building generative AI and creating our own custom LLMs, having some conversational intelligence, so similar how you interact with a ChatGPT or a Gemini today, but building that natively into a Reputation platform. That will be one of the big areas that we talk about today. Having more predictive analytics, so if there's a week over week, month over month drop in your sentiment or your star rating, we're seeing maybe your review volume dip from your historical averages, giving you the proactive nudge to take some agentic actions. So now that we've rebuilt the platform, we have a agentic ready data foundation, so we can start taking those predictive alerts, start automatically responding to those workflows. So again, we can work as a co-pilot for you, so you can focus on what matters most, and that's building better customer experiences. So how this all comes together when our North Stars align, this is where we want to focus our time, energy, and development resources on, is kind of coming to the center here, where we're building products that are the latest and greatest with everything new that's coming with AI, that are simple to use, that are really sticky. And we want our platform to be intuitive by design. We want to be intelligent by nature and essential by impact. And what we're going to talk about today is two really great examples with our new AI Reputation Manager and our new Reputation IQ, of how we can kind of create these value wedges for you and build products that are at the center of these three North Stars. So with that, I will pass it off to Steven, and he's going to walk through some of the really exciting updates that we have in store for you all. Steven?
Awesome. Thanks, Seth. Yeah, no, we're incredibly excited to show off what we've been working on. As Seth mentioned, we have Shika from our product team here, Kirsten as well. We're going to dive into some of the demos of what this looks like in just a few minutes. But ultimately, the last 20 years of marketing have revolved around optimizing your search, focusing on how can we be the leader in SEO, optimizing those keywords, measuring those clicks, paying for placement. My very first internship out of college, not out of college, I was still in college technically for this one, was at a SEO agency. And when I showed up, the very first thing they had me do is they gave me a list of keywords and they said, every day you come in, you're going to write 2 to 4 blogs and you are just going to laden these posts with as many of these keywords as you can fit. And that's what we do. That's what we're going to do to optimize our clients' visibility. And you know what? That's been something that we've all kind of gotten used to over the past number of years operating in this marketing world, but that's shifting. The playbook used to be that simple. We used to be able to focus on these keywords, kicks, and placements. But as we see, like in the last 3 years or so, that behavior has really changed as consumers are continually driving themselves more and more towards this AI adoption. And just to be clear, like that's not to say that SEO itself is dying. It's still undoubtedly relevant, particularly as these AI engines are consistently evolving and changing the methods by which the different models are searching different engines in real time versus historical data. And there's a lot of different factors that go into the evolution of this. But as these consumer habits are shifting, we really need to evolve our playbook to keep up with that pace. So as we're seeing, the consumer isn't necessarily turning to a Google search or a Bing search or their traditional method of going to find answers anymore. We see that a recent report showed that nearly a billion people or more than a billion people are using AI search tools every month, and we see that trend just continually is growing. And what's more is beyond that is while they're turning into those different AI engines to ask their questions, according to Bain, there's more than 60% of those that are ending without a single click. So they're asking their question in a conversational way, and they're expecting a synthesized answer. And if you appear or don't appear in that, that's something that consumers are trusting a lot more now than they have in the past. So looking a little bit deeper into that is there was another report, the 2025 Consumer Adoption of AI report, and it revealed that nearly 41% of consumers are trusting those Gen AI search results more than those paid search results. So everything that we've been conditioned to work and optimize and buy into and track over the last 20 or so years of marketing efficiency is flipping on its head right now. Only 15% of those consumers are trusting AI less than our search ads. So going a layer deeper on that, according to that same report, 43% of consumers said that they would trust info given by an AI chatbot or tool. And that's up from 40% just last year. So for those that are really traditional, or sorry, not traditionally, but really already accustomed to using these chat GPTs and Geminis to search for these kinds of answers and recommendations, that figure is jumping from that 43% up to 68%. And 14% of those people are saying they would trust those AI provided results completely. So maybe a little scary that we're seeing that much confidence already in these applications that are fairly new, but this creates a trend of opportunity, and challenge for us in the marketing space because being mentioned organically by an AI tool creates that kind of halo effect for brands that digital earned media carries more credibility than the paid placement in this case. So as we can see, like we're shifting from appearing in those top few links to do we show up in those answers that are just conversationally presented by the ChatGPTs of the world. And this is where we kind of get into that theme of like going from search to making sense of all of this. So AI isn't just indexing you, it is starting to judge you. And it creates this problem for us, right? AI, for those of us that maybe aren't as technically savvy or keeping up with all of the different algorithms and advancements and going from model 3.0 to 3.1 to 5.0, 5.1, wherever we are, when you log in, you see a new model number every day. It's this black box, right? These LLMs are consuming just litanies of unstructured data as well as structured data from so much source material across the web. They're scanning and crawling both ratings and reviews, your listing data, own channels, thought leadership, social media, web forums, processing it all with their own individual approaches, their unique algorithms. But often they're only identifying what might be lacking. So like if your business profile isn't entirely complete or your analytics aren't exactly what it's looking for, then the outputs that it presents may not be showcasing you the way that you would like. And you want to be able to control that narrative of your brand, especially not just for your brand, but I think one of the things that we'll get into is specifically for the way that reputation is approaching this is we're not trying to look at this just from the brand perspective, but ultimately for these multi-location enterprises, you don't just want your name to be seen, you want your individual locations to be showcased for those local people as they're searching for you. So up to this point, this black box can be kind of daunting. We don't have the same kind of search console or Google Ad Manager where we can track or see those analytics for how we're appearing in ChatGPT or Gemini, for example. And there's a lot of different companies out there that are trying to fill this void, right? They're stepping into that gap and provide GEO, that generative AI engine optimization in the same way that SEO companies have sprung up. And there haven't been those great solutions for those multi-location enterprises until today. So what's going into driving these AI searches? So as we were talking, we talked about some of the things that are flowing into what these AI models are looking at, what they're processing, and what cues they're taking to understand your reputation, your recognition, what they're trusting to go into that. But according to a Whitespark's 2026 local search ranking factors report, these are this is the breakdown of kind of what AI is looking at across all of the different factors that go into their search results. And as you can see, only 24% of those factors are the traditional on-page signals, those paid ads, those paid search criteria that you've been used to fighting for, making yourself recognized. The other 75% can kind of be a little more difficult for us to put that energy and effort into optimizing. So 16% of those review signals, those citation signals are coming from areas where ideally you know where you're being mentioned or different areas that you're publishing content about your brand into. And of course, your Google business profile is something that you're constantly managing and keeping an eye on as you track your listing validity. But there's a lot of gaps here in different areas that make it difficult for marketers and CX leaders to be able to really keep a pulse on, great, I've spent so much time and energy optimizing this 24% of the area that I can control. How do I take back control of that other 75% of factors that the AI tools are looking at so that I can continue being recognized? So this brings us to this kind of junction point, right? Of there's four real answers for us to focus on as we try to find and as we've built these applications to try to help you understand what to be looking for is, are you optimizing the right signals? How is AI perceiving your brand and how can you see how they're perceiving your brand? Are the answers that it's surfacing correct? And not just looking at those as a static screenshot in time, because these models are consistently evolving. So what they show today might be a different answer 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months down the road. And we want to be able to keep a pulse on how those models are evolving so that we can consistently be optimizing ourselves to appear in those search rankings. And as Seth mentioned, and as we go into it, this is ultimately why we built AI Reputation Manager, is we wanted to give you a solution that is external for you to be able to control how AI is seeing you. We're evolving from those blue links and appearing in that front page of Google, uh, and really trying to be part of those direct answers that these chat tools are providing. So AI Reputation Manager is Reputation's dedicated AI visibility solution, and it's going to empower you as a multi-location brand to see how you're being cited, how you're mentioned, how you're being recognized and judged and graded by AI, and not just have that visibility, but also present different opportunities for you to uncover ways to not just take back the control of the narrative that they're presenting, but maybe also look for areas of opportunity as well. So you can continue to expand your presence and visibility across your market region, target areas, and really just expand your influence. So let's take a look inside it. Let's peel back the layers and let's shine some light into the corners of this black box. So with AI Reputation Manager, or I'll call it ARM for short, it allows you to put in different questions. So you can ask it ARM what AI is saying about you, and we're going to bring back different results for you to show what those look like. So you can kind of have a pulse on a summarized result of what what do these different models say about me or about my competitors in response to this question. It allows you to audit the accuracy of your listings. Um, you spend so much time maintaining the consistency of those across all of the different publication areas, but maybe there's different sources where it's not tracking accurately or that you haven't been able to see or correct. So auditing and then measuring and tracking how often you appear across different areas, and then ultimately analyzing how AI is perceiving your brand and your individual location so that you can take actions to amend or influence the way that it's responding and showcasing you to the world. So from here, I'm going to dive into it with Shika so that we can see what this looks like and what we've built in to the ask component. So we can see what we're doing to review these questions and how AI is responding to us.
Thank you, Stephen. I think that was a very good intro about AI Reputation Manager. And as you were mentioning earlier, that the search landscape is shifting, and with it, keeping up with how your brand is perceived has become increasingly complex. Instead of manually testing prompts across different AI tools, guessing how you are being positioned, or trying to reverse engineer the perception, AI Reputation Manager gives you a direct answers from AI about your brand, your market, and your competitors. AI Reputation Manager comes with certain pre-built questions, and you can also add your own custom questions to uncover insights specific to your businesses or market. For example, which electric cars are best in the market, or who has the best amenities in uptown Dallas. One of the interesting points of having this inside the reputation platform is getting a complete view of my brand health in one place, from feedback data to now the actual answers AI is giving to the world about you. So, in one view, you might analyze your customer service experience journey based on your feedback data. And in the next, you ask AI Reputation Manager who is considered the best service provider in this market. And then you get entire summary, the reasoning, the sentiment, and even the citations now. So you know exactly how AI is shaping your perception and where you stand when it comes to the customer feedback data. So that's basically a powerful tool when it combines with looking into the feedback data as well as how AI is looking about you.
Mute myself. Awesome. Yeah. So obviously there's a lot of different questions that people could be asking, and maybe it's difficult for you to know where to start or what to ask to get into. So like you mentioned, Shika, like we can preload some of those questions, but maybe we're looking through the platform in different areas for different areas where we're traditionally finding insights, and we come up with some ideas of things that we want to track. So I want to dive into an example of what that might look like. So say maybe I'm starting in the journey insights portion of the tool, and we get some ideas and we want to go from there. So let's dive into what that would look like. So as we've been discussing, this is a perfect area for us to dive in and see how ARM really levels you up from just looking at the insights of your actual sales or service experience and going a layer deeper into seeing what the different LLMs are saying about you in response to your customers. So if I'm starting on Journey Insights, let's assume here that I'm a general manager at a car dealership. And if any of you have been seeing any of the crazy headlines this week, we're seeing that Americans are shunning new cars and sales are trending down, all this other fun doom and gloom around the auto industry. But one thing we do know for sure is that customers are holding onto their cars more, and we want to increase the service or we want to increase traffic to our service drive. So I'm in Journey Insights. I'm going to navigate here over to my service experience, and I'm tracking this to kind of see what does my service experience look like for my customers today, and where are some areas that maybe I need to improve. So communications is low. My repair work is lower than I would like it to be. Same with maybe the paperwork process or other things of that nature. And if I want to go a layer deeper in Journey Insights, of course, I can search this or sort it by sentiment for strong or weak. So even if I'm like concerned about what my weak sentiments are, I can see those different mentions as well. And all this is just making me think, man, these aren't the kinds of sentiments that I want customers associating with my dealership. What is the AI saying about me? Is this extending into the different AI models themselves? And this is where AI Reputation Manager comes into play. When I open ARM, this allows me to add different questions that I want to be keeping my eye on consistently to see how the different models are responding to these type of questions that customers might be asking. So you can see I have a few in here that I've already loaded. These are going to track month over month as those AI models continue to evolve, the different ways that they're responding and the different themes and trends in sentiment scores that are being populated. So in this case, I want to go add an additional question. So I click Manage Questions and come to Add Question. And in here, I am going to be looking specifically for my dealership in Colorado. And I want to say, what dealerships are highest rated for vehicle service in Littleton, CO. And from here, if I want to preview this response before I save it as something that I'm going to continually track, I can do this. I hit preview, it's going to run and give us an example of what the different AI models are responding to this specific question. So in this case, what we do is we provide a summary of those AI responses. So we're actively running this question against ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity to see how they're responding to this exact question. So if a customer were to type this specifically in, we're taking those answers, summarizing it for you to be able to track here. So you can see the highest rated dealerships for vehicle service in Littleton, Colorado, based on customer reviews and ratings include Genesis of Littleton with this score, McDonald Mazda with this score and this many reviews, highlighting great service, knowledgeable team. And you get these deeper insights into, okay, so these are the things that are standing out to these different LLMs that are making these dealerships be surfaced when a customer searches for good vehicle service. So I'm going to add this to my active questions, and this is going to continue running now. So every month we will generate an update for this question. So as those models continue to evolve and as additional information gets fed in, we're going to be able to continually update and track that. So you're not having to go in and search 3, 4, 5 different AI tools every time you have a question of how am I appearing. And and really seeing kind of how you're being either seen or not seen in relation to these different types of questions that you should be asking.
Thank you, Steven.
So,
I think
yeah.
that was a wonderful demo, and it actually mentioned about like what we were talking earlier, that you can see how AI is perceiving you as a business. Now let's talk about something critical in the generative search world. What AI actually sees about your business. So your business information is everywhere, like Google Maps, Apple Maps, TripAdvisor, Facebook, and many more places. And all of that data feeds AI models, which then generate the answers consumers rely on. The real question is AI showing the right version of you? Now, what happens with our AI location presence tool is we audit what AI is picking up, your address, phone numbers, hours, etc. And then we verify how accurate it actually is. So for example, you might find your phone number is 98% accurate, but your address is only right 80% of the time. And that matters because when AI gets it wrong, consumers get it wrong, and you lose trust, traffic, and conversions. That's why fixing inaccurate citation is powerful. So with our AI reputation manager and AI location presence, we give you total transparency into what AI sees. So you can correct it, make sure consumers are always presented with the right information.
Yeah, exactly. So I opened up with how ARM is, or I opened up ARM discussing how SEO is shifting. So let's look at how uh, ARM and the location presence component of that lets us correct those inaccuracies right at the source. Awesome. So all this conversation really brings up a good point. And I want to take this one, I'm going to address this one from the perspective of, let's say I'm a digital marketing manager for a restaurant chain that has multiple locations. And up to this point, I've been living, breathing, dreaming, sleeping SEO, trying to make sure that my locations are consistently appearing across the top of the Google search rankings, wherever a customer or wherever a potential prospect is shopping from. So in this case, I can see how I'm tracking on my local search insights page. I can track by individual location, or in this case, let's look at my Five Guys restaurants. I'm able to look down and see by location what my average ranking is, my best ranking, etc. This has been the name of the game for SEO up to this point. But as we move into this world of GEO, this generative engine optimization or generative AI optimization, we're really trying to keep a closer eye on how we're appearing in those search results that appear in ChatGPT or Gemini or Perplexity, what have you. So as I go into AI location presence insights, this is part of this AI reputation management product that we're releasing now. This is how you're able to now track on an individual location level, not just a brand level like a lot of other GEO products are marketing today. You can come now down to individual locations and see how these different AI models are representing you and how accurately are they representing you. That NAP data is so critical for your business success. And we know how much time you are spending maintaining your listing accuracy. You're syndicating it to Google, to Apple Business Connect, to Yelp, all these different places, and you're tracking that consistently. But what you don't always have insight into is how are you appearing across who knows what random website that might have outdated information. So with AI location presence insights, I can now see by AI platform how accurate my information is being referenced. So in this case, I've got a lot of 0%, handful of 50%, things that I don't want to see. So if I come in here to fix these inaccurate citations, what I'm able to see now is by different model. So ChatGPT, Gemini, and soon to come we'll have Perplexity included in here as well. I can see my reputation profile, and this is always my source of truth for my listing data. And on the right-hand side, I can see what ChatGPT is referencing. Not only that, but I can check these citations. And this is just such a powerful tool because I don't have to go digging for where this is pulling from. I can open up this check citations link, see exactly where this inaccurate data is coming from, and what data is accurate on that website. And instead of needing to go another layer deeper, I can just edit it directly on that site, directly from this screen. So in this new era of AI search, where customers aren't just Googling you anymore, they're asking these LLMs for answers and recommendations. A huge part of being searchable and visible and recommended is consistency and accuracy and data that's trustworthy. So by maintaining your data accuracy on your listing details, you're going to become that much more recognized and that much more presented in this new era of AI search. So AI location presence, listing accuracy by AI allows you to track all of that, maintain it, and fix it so that you are, number one, you are appearing consistently across all these AI chats.
Thank you, Steven. I think that already covers like what we were talking about, the generative world, how it is changing, the search landscape, and what are the data points which we need to consider for, auditing our information. Now let's look into the another aspect of this generative search economy. The brands which, if AI mentions, are the brands the consumers choose today. I think somebody also mentioning in chat as well that people aren't browsing links anymore. They are asking AI questions or either getting the summary generated. Questions like, who's the best pediatrician nearby, or where's the best happy hour happening? These are the questions which people are asking to now, these AI tools. If you don't show up in those answers, you don't exist in that moment. So AI is basically prioritizing the trust signals now, not the keyword anymore. So trust signals like, review strength, accuracy of your data, and authority across listings. So your EEAT matters. What is EEAT? Basically, experience, expertise, authority, and trust. That's why we track the searches that drive discovery, showing where you are highly searchable, where you are barely visible, and where you are not mentioned at all. This visibility helps you to understand how often AI is mentioning you today, and where you need to improve, so that you can increase your mention rate and win more of those AI-driven decisions which consumers are making today. So that is basically how the search landscape is changing, and how brands need to think now from generative search world.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, Shika. And another layer to this that I think presents a really interesting area of opportunity is, sure, you can see how you're appearing and make efforts to increase your visibility, but we also wanted to make sure that you're able to track maybe some competitive intel as well. So not just how you're tracking or trending, but identify areas of opportunity for growth and expansion. So let's take a look at what that might look like too. So as we've been discussing, there's a lot of different factors that go into making yourself more visible to the various LLMs. There's different criteria by which they rank you and score you and include you in their results. But at the end of the day, you want to become the most trustworthy and reliable source for them to consistently reference. So I'm going to approach this next demo from the perspective of a business development officer for a healthcare facility. And in this case, I am with Advocate Illinois Masonic Medical Center. And we're based in Chicago. We have a number of facilities across the greater Chicagoland area, but we want to look at expanding into a few different regions. We want to expand our base of operations beyond that. So I've done my work and continue to do my work to ensure that my listing accuracy for this existing medical center is accurate. But I'm scrolling down now and I want to see how often, first off, I'm being mentioned by AI and how visible I am. So looking down here, I'm able to see that in ChatGPT, I'm highly searchable with a 73% mention rate. Gemini leaves something to be desired there, only 58% of the time. But what goes into this is this search visibility by AI right here. So just like we put those questions into ARM with our first example earlier, these questions are being asked to the different AI platforms consistently, and seeing how often we are returned in those results. So top hospital location in 60657 is referenced as us
by ChatGPT 100% of the time, 80% of the time from Gemini. And you see we have those different search inputs here that are factoring into this. So as I'm looking to expand, I know, okay, I'm being referenced this often, but who's being referenced in another part of town? Yeah, and maybe that's a question that I want to ask. So I can come in to AI Reputation Manager and into my managed questions, and let's add that as a query. We want to track who are the top rated healthcare facilities in, let's use Lincoln Park as an example, in 60614 Chicago. And I'm going to add this question to my ARM question list so that I can now see, okay, every time this updates, I'm going to now see who is being referenced as the top healthcare facility in this area. And this gives me insight into, let's click down right here. This gives me insight into who I might need to compete with if I move into that part of town. So in this case, Northwestern is consistently ranked the #1 hospital. So 14 years it's been Northwestern. The AI sentiment about them is exceptional. Themes that we can see here, these are generated themes based on the different results that came back from the AI tools. And from here I can see, okay, if I want to expand or if I want to do a little bit more research into who is providing the best quality care in that part of town, I've added this question now, and using the ARM platform, I can track these areas of opportunity and competitive intelligence as well.
That was nice, Stephen. So earlier we spoke about importance of searchability and accuracy. Now, when it comes to understanding my business, now let's go a level deeper into perception. To truly understand how my business is perceived, I need clarity on the different topics and themes where I, as a business owner, am being evaluated. It's not just about what people will find about me, it's also about what they feel about me. So the sentiment around these topics is what ultimately shapes my brand perception over the period of time. So now let's explore on how those conversation and sentiments come together to influence the way my business is viewed in the market.
100%. So we kind of looked at Journey Insights earlier as maybe one area where we'd start to uncover some of those trends. But yeah, let's dive deeper there.
So as we've been discussing up to this point, the entire purpose and the whole value of AI Reputation Manager and AI Location Presence Insights is just to give you deeper visibility into how AI is perceiving your customer experience. You're putting so much work into increasing your visibility, increasing your brand reputation, but your individual locations really need to shine on their own individually, and you want them to show up appropriately in these different AI models. So logging in to this example, I'm going to look at this one from the perspective of a resident experience lead at a property management organization that has multiple properties around the country. And in this case, I want to start with the question that I asked a while ago because I've got some history on it. And this was, do people like living at 89 on Hayden in Scottsdale? I can see that summary like we showed earlier, but looking deeper, I've got these different themes that are also coming back as some pretty good green scores, and I've got 100 on my sentiment score. I'm feeling pretty good about this one. So if I open up this analysis, I can get deeper into what this means. So at the top, I've got my sentiment trend over time. So from the moment we started asking this question back in October, we know that this is going to be refreshing monthly, as we've discussed, unless I refresh it sooner, which I can of course always do. But month over month, I've stayed at that 100 out of 100 on sentiment, and that's incredible. So I can see what that previous result was versus my current one. And as we know, AI models are consistently evolving. So what they say one month might change to the next month. And you're publishing more content and doing more to increase your accuracy and visibility. So these things can change over time. And that's all going to factor into this. So my previous sentiment came back with high scores in comfort and luxury. And as we moved into this most recent month, we got even more themes pulled out of convenience and community and environment, things that helped lift our score. So if I'm really feeling good about this, maybe I want to share this off with that property manager. I want to say, hey, kudos to you guys. You're doing a great job. I can share this response over to them, generate a link. Maybe I want to include their regional director or other people so that we can give them some good recognition or kudos for, you know what, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, everyone loves you. You guys are doing a great job and you're visible in the right way. So that's a fantastic opportunity to identify some positive visibility. But we know it's not always going to be positive, right? Here's another question that I put in recently, and this was for my Artem apartments in Miami, and I just wanted to know how residents are rating their overall experience. I know because I'm tracking their reviews, but I want to know how the AI sees it, right? So my themes aren't so positive. My sentiment's coming back at just a 60, not nearly as high as I would like it to be. First off, I want to see the citations. So I can open up and see the different sources that the AIs are referencing in order to come up with this, their responses, right? So their responses are what feed into my summary, so I can see citations that inform the response that informs my summary. So that's kind of the way that this is going. But if I want to look deeper here and understand, okay, what does Artem need to work on? If I open up this analysis, I can see I don't have that trend over time yet because this is a new question. But as I look down into the sentiment shift and see where my themes are, my resident experience overall is at a 50. My management responsiveness is way lower than I want it to be, and my amenities leave a lot to be desired. So in this case, I want to go a layer deeper and understand if there's more trends that I can identify here. So where AI Reputation Manager is looking at my whole organization and tracking all of that, I want to go back into my location insights and see exactly how Artem itself is performing. So we've already reviewed our listing accuracy and our search mention and visibility, but the sentiment over here is giving me a more targeted score just in general. How does ChatGPT review me? How does Gemini review me? And well, I got a 60 summarized on that last question. Overall, I'm not doing too hot. And if I look at the very bottom here, I can see kind of why. And I've got different topics and different themes that are coming back out of this. And I can organize these from my best to my worst. So if I want to track where I'm doing well on ChatGPT, it's in my staff and my value. If I want to see where I'm doing poorly, I've got legal, billing, communication, etc. And you know what? Based on the results of that last question that we saw that management responsiveness was low, communication's trending pretty poorly. So this gives me more insights into, okay, there's some trends here that I need to identify and work on. And maybe I was on that previous page and I saw that my sources weren't as accurate as I would like them to be. Maybe there's something I need to do from a marketing perspective to do some additional campaigns or get some more word out that, you know what, this is a great place to live. People are really happy with their experience here and our managers are engaged and responsive. So all of these lead to different areas of insight and opportunity that goes beyond just throwing a number on a problem, but really giving you areas to identify opportunities to further shape the narrative around how your brand and your individual locations are being perceived in this new world of AI recognition.
So I'm going to just go ahead and move us right along, Shika. Thanks so much for contributing a lot of like insights and perspectives into like what's going into how we're building this. So up to this point, like we've covered a lot of how we're winning the search. You've mastered SEO. You now have the tools to influence how you're appearing in these generative engines as well. But the next step is going from that external AI analysis to what can we do internally? And that's how we have these tools at our disposal now internally as well to do some more data analysis with our internal data. So right now today, you're only seeing the surface of your reviews data. You have your reviews feed, you're tracking through all of the different reviews, noticing trends, responding to them as fast as you can. But only 10 to 20% of the data that you have is structured. That's your star ratings, your NPS, your CSAT, those things that Seth mentioned at the beginning. But it's the data you really can't see that includes all of the nuance, the trends and patterns, the root causes, and ultimately like, well, the structured data tells us like what they're saying. The why they're saying it is hidden in all of that unstructured context. So we've got that traditional iceberg problem, if you will. And this brings us to like answering that why. Like today, it's a pretty slow, fragmented, and risky process. We're doing a lot of manual analysis. There's a lot of data export. There's a lot of reliance on very smart people within our organizations who know how to build pivot tables. They've mastered VLOOKUP and XLOOKUP, and if you've played with that, I know how let's just say kudos to you. You're a master of some tools that I'm still learning. But this leads us to kind of that dashboard overload, or having way too many resources and reports and files saved to track these things. And in a lot of cases, we're seeing that people are even pasting proprietary data into these shadow AIs. You're exporting your reviews into ChatGPT to come up with different campaign ideas or different thoughts or analyses. And this subjects you to risk and security liabilities. So we as are I always repeat this, like we're consumers just as much as we're operators, and we expect instant answers, not just at work, but across our interactions. So the era of waiting for those answers truly is over. And that dashboard itself is also fading away. We see that nearly 4.4, according to a McKinsey study, about $4.4 trillion is the estimated annual value that Gen AI is expected to add to the global economy. And another study showed that nearly 80% of the world's data is unstructured by the end of this year, and we're seeing those trends today. And that's what's influencing these executives. So like more than 90% of executives are watching these AI solutions and trying to experiment and find different ways to apply this into their business operations. And that's where we are now unveiling Reputation IQ. And this is our conversational intelligence engine built directly within your reputation platform. And it's engineered for trust. Ultimately, the focus here is that you can ask anything and understand everything. You're getting instant insights from all of your customer data across the whole application. So today we're applying this to our reviews customers. So we're using our all of the reviews that you've compiled and that are sourced within Reputation to be able to pull out those instant answers to your tough questions, do some data analysis into what those trends are, and really take that data and go to the next step of diagnosing it. And ultimately, you have questions. You're spending so much time today, like searching and digging and trying to find these patterns on your own, or relying on business operations teams or data scientists. We work with an incredible team of data scientists here at Reputation, and they're really the brains behind putting this together for you. So we know how valuable the data science teams can be, but we wanted to make it easier for your teams to not have to rely on external factors or have to go through however much time to uncover these answers. So getting those answers, we're trying to eliminate those 4 to 20 clicks and multiple different reports and dashboards that you're navigating today to pull those things out, and letting you uncover those patterns so that you can really kind of put that power of the data analyst in everyone's hands. And ultimately, what this is going to do is give you more confidence to act on those results, since it's pulling directly from your data. It's not an external broad scaled engine. It is using and focusing solely on your data that's being provided. It can pull those specific answers out of your data sets. And when we really look at this, we talked about like the usage of shadow AI. There is an enterprise AI and SaaS data security report published this year that showed nearly 77% of Gen AI users are pasting data into those Gen AI tools. And 40% of that data that's being posted contains PII or PCI. And undoubtedly, that's a huge data leakage risk. And just to be very clear on how we're using this in our own applications, is we're not using your data to train these third-party models. Your data stays secure, it stays yours, it stays safe within the Reputation platform. And we will use your questions to train and enhance and make our model that much more specific to your industry, but we're never going to share your data with a third-party player. So what does all this look like? We are taking all of that unstructured data and we are parsing it through this reputation IQ engine, like a mini ChatGPT for reputation, and extracting all of those insights, action plans, review examples, themes, getting deeper into that sentiment analysis to help you uncover insights directly from your data in a conversational way. So Kirsten's been sitting here really patiently with us. Um, I know that as it stands today, marketing executives are using a ton of different tools and resources uh, inside and outside of reputation to identify different opportunity areas and trends, and maybe even looking for different themes that they can use to plan their next campaign. So, Kirsten, I know you work with a lot of our healthcare clients, and maybe you can walk us through how Rep IQ would work for them in this case.
Awesome. No, thank you so much, Stephen. You're exactly right. A traditional marketing executive that is looking for campaign themes would normally start probably at a place like this within our platform, right? Journey Insights, being able to see all the way, through the entire patient journey, and being able to see, okay, we're doing well, when we're giving care or giving, the treatment, and maybe let's look at specific doctors and starting here. But again, having to kind of sift through some things, coming up here and filtering if you're wanting to look maybe at a specific location or a region, or potentially even coming here maybe to some sort of leaderboard, right, in the past, and being able to say, okay, who are which locations are the most friendly or the most empathetic or having the best overall experience in general. Again, the time to sift through the data. But no worries, I'm so excited to share today. This is our dedicated conversational engine called Reputation IQ. And what you're going to see here at the top, which especially for me, this is very helpful. I can't always think of what to ask. And so being able to have, ideas and prompts to get you started, or even being able to refresh those prompts and giving you new ideas to be able to ask different questions. Specifically today, I am looking again for messaging around a new ad campaign. And I can use the filters, again, being able to switch the date range. But again, for right now, we're going to keep it simple and we'll just use what we have. But being able to, again, look at all those locations, looking at maybe a certain region, and being able to ask a question around that. But again, for now, I'm just going to ask it plainly. So I'm going to ask, what are the top 3 most frequently mentioned positive themes in our reviews? And let the AI engine, let it go to work. And again, just like that, the AI is analyzing the text and going to give me 3 validated themes. 1, compassionate and attentive staff. 2, efficient service. And 3, high quality medical care. And it's giving me a little bit of information on each, which is awesome. I can even share this out, which is really, really cool. So if I've got other folks on my marketing team that I want to be able to share this with, I can send them a magic link. I can also forward this directly to them, which is fantastic. But I actually want to share with something that I was even more excited about. And this is even newer for me. I didn't notice that this was even here. And so I wanted to make sure you guys knew about this as well. Yes, up here is awesome, being able to immediately give you, here's your campaign. But also, what are some reviews that go with that? And being able to see the direct feedback and comments that are going with what you have above, which I absolutely love. And again, this is turning weeks or hours of analysis into a really quick 1-minute conversation.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kirsten. And obviously this is taking us from that stage of like having to dig through everything into having this trusted advisor we simply talk to. And not everybody is going to find these answers or be navigating the platform in the same way. Some of you might be spending more time in the reviews feed, for example. So if that is a place that you were working, and maybe you pull out like a little insight, maybe Kirsten, you can show us what that would look like. Say I'm navigating reviews and I find something that jumps out to me and I want to explore that and go down a little rabbit hole.
That's a great call out, Stephen. I engage with customers all the time, as well as myself. I was a previous customer who just live and breathe in this reviews feed. And so definitely understand. And one of my favorite parts about the reviews feed is being able to see employees being mentioned. And so coming over here to categories and looking at people is going to give me all the reviews that are showing names in them. And so as I scroll through here, I'm actually noticing, whoa, okay, Dr. McDonald is mentioned twice. Now I want to know a little bit more, right? Maybe how many times he's been mentioned in the last month. So I can actually come up here directly to Rep IQ while I'm in the reviews feed and figure out that answer. How many reviews mention him in the last month? And so we'll let that piece populate. And once we have the volume for this, then I want to know the sentiment, right? So this is showing me in the last month, there were 500 reviews that mentioned Dr. McDonald. And so again, now I want to know the sentiment. And so let me summarize the positive sentiment in those reviews that mention Dr. Oops. If I could spell, Dr. McDonald. Okay. We'll let that go. And this is going to show me, again, that Dr. McDonald receives consistent feedback from patients, highlighting his thoroughness, friendly demeanor, excellent bedside manner, that appreciate his ability to explain medical issues clearly. And it gives me all of those things. And what I love about this, and again, even when I was a customer of Reputation, this is something I always wanted to send kudos, right? Being able to send this to the executive team, being able to send this to the regional team or the divisional team, or even the doctor himself, to just say, hey, this is awesome, great job. And so again, that share button also lives here to be able to share this directly with leadership, to see this immediately. And again, being able to find this all under a few minutes without having to leave the review page and try and figure out all this information.
Wonderful. So needless to say, we are thrilled to have this available now. So as of today, Reputation IQ that Kirsten was just showing us is available for all of our reviews customers. If you use the reviews product with Reputation, you can reach out to your CSM or your account manager and get activated for that today. Same goes for AI Reputation Manager. This is going to be available for all of our business listings customers. And the greatest part of both of these products is they are free to use. We are offering them now at no additional charge. As long as you have reviews or business listings today, we can get these activated for you. So just reach out to your account rep and they'll help take you through the process of getting this turned on over the next few days. To highlight just a few things that are coming next with this, we're going to continue building and iterating and adding additional depth to these different areas. So in Reputation IQ, we're going to expand that from just the reviews portion into understanding more competitive insights and understanding more details about what goes into your reputation score. And so that's coming in Q1. Later in Q2, we'll be adding some survey data as well, so you can understand more trends or insights from your surveys. And I think the last teaser that I'll leave you on is later in Q1 too, we're also introducing Command Center, and this is going to be a refreshed look, feel, navigation experience for your Reputation platform as a whole. So with all of this, we're tremendously excited. Please reach out to your account teams to start getting activated today. And thank you all so much for joining us. This recording will be sent out to everyone that wasn't able to make it. But ultimately, thank you so much for your partnership. Thank you so much for your excitement. And we're just so happy to work with you and continue evolving our Built for AI platform.